Hello everyone and welcome to the Unreal Engine 4 tutorial series. This is a requested video on how to make a meteors. So let me show you a quick look on what we're gonna make in the end of this tutorial. So as you can see, this red bar, this red circle is my meteor area, and I have to pass through it, otherwise the meteor will blast me. So as you can see, all right. So let's make this. So as you can see, this is my third person shooter. You can do it with first person, third person, whatever. All right. What are the prerequisites? Well, there are no prerequisites, but you have to ask what is the meteor's starting position and what is the meteor's ending position. So for me, I have started a meteor from wherever my character is facing towards something upwards, and the ending position is my character's location. But you can set it to whatever. Okay. So let's save it. This is blank one, and let's go in here and let's create a folder. I'm gonna call it a meteoroid. Okay, open this one. So first thing is we need a meteor class. So let's create a blueprint class of an actor. We're gonna call it meteoroid. Alright, and for the meteoroid, what we need a sphere collision that can detect. Yeah, this is our meteoroid. So let's add a sphere collision. So sphere collision, this one. Okay, and this is okay, and let's make this a default scene root because I don't need that. So whatever under this guy is our scene root. Alright, we need a mesh, so I'm gonna simply add a sphere, but if you have a custom mesh then you can add that. So this is our meteor. Alright, and the sphere radius should something called 52 so that it can detect. Yes, exactly this. Alright, my meteor is white, but I don't like this guy. So let's minimize that, and I will simply import some textures that looks like a meteor. Alright, z textures. Okay, this surface textures and a circle texture. I will simply import these two. I hit save. So as you can see, this surface texture is somewhat this, which is nothing, and this circle texture is simply a circle, and this is my alpha, so only this circle is visible, other things is not. So this is our decal of where our meteor should spawn or drop. So let's create a surface by clicking on this texture and right click and create a material. So I'm gonna call it surface 1 and hit save. Alright, so open your meteoroid, and this guy is our surface, this guy. Alright, save that. So if you grab that in here, where it was, this one. Why it is taking too much? As you can see, I'm passing through this, but I don't want this. I want to block my character from passing through this meteoroid. So what I'm gonna do, first I'm gonna go in here because I don't want to. Alright, so I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna go to this sphere collision and click on this collider, and the collision presets should be block all dynamic or block all whatever. So it depends upon your default scene root. So whatever the collision preset of this guy, it will simply add to that parent one. So whatever the parents of this collisions, it will simply add to this one. So now if I add this in here, as you can see, I am blocking. I cannot pass through this. So that's what I need, right? Alright, okay. Okay, hit save. What next I need? I need a particle system. And this should be a flames. All right. So the particle system is, click on this, and if you search for the template, I have a template called fire, which is not so big. So I will simply click on this magnet icon, so I can, yes, 5. So this is my particle system. So whenever my meteor is collide, it will also come with this one. Alright, so we have done this thing. Okay, so now in the event graph, so I don't need this tick and this begin overlap. What I need is this begin play. So on the begin play, I will simply cast to my third person character, because I want to call out that meteor from wherever it was to my third person location. So get the player character, and let's just promote this guy to a variable. I'm gonna call it a player reference. Alright, next things I want to do a trace, a line trace by channel. So let's do a custom event. First let's make a custom event. I'm gonna call it a trace, and let's call out this trace in here on the begin play. So first I want to do a trace. So let's do a trace. The trace would be a line trace by channel. Yes, line trace by channel. The starting point should be the actor's location, the meteor's location. So get the actor location. So this will give you a world location of where your meteor is from the default scene route from this guy. Okay, and the ending point is my player character. So grab your player character and get actor location of your player character. So get actor location of this guy. Alright. Now let's check it out if our player is tracing or not. So let's set it for duration, the debug, so that we can see the traces. Alright, so on the third person I'm gonna simply call out that one. So search for a tick. If you are making a meteors, you don't have to call out in the third person, you actually have to code this meteor in your game mode, but I'm just doing for testing purpose. So this is why I'm calling it in the event tick. Alright, so on the event tick I want to call out every 3 seconds, so I will make a delay of 3 seconds. And what I want to do every 3 seconds I want to spawn an actor from class, and the actor should be my meteoroid. So the meteoroid, yes, and you can see this spawn transform. So I will simply make transform. Okay, so location, so where should my meteor spawn? So my meteor should spawn from wherever my character is facing. So get actor location, rotation. So this will give us wherever whatever the rotation of my player, and I will simply get a forward vector of it. So where my player is facing, and this location I will simply right click to split it out, and I want this guy X to add plus of 10,000, and let right click to split it out this location. The Y would be, okay, control W to get that. Y would be X of Y of 3000. This is your starting point, this location is, so you can set it to whatever you want. And the Z, so Z is from whatever the location of your character is plus upwards. So get the location, so get actor location, and I'm simply need a Z vector of it. So this Z vector I will simply add how much upward should your character spawn. So this will go in the Z. So let's say 2000 units, right? So every 3 seconds a meteor would spawn at this location, this. Alright, so let's check. Okay, let's check if it's tracing or not. Alright, so as you can see, a line trace. So it is happening, a line trace. Now what I need to do, I need to go in the meteor. We have done all the things in here. Okay, so go in the meteor, right? Okay, close this up. So we are doing a line trace by channel. Alright, now what I need to do, I need to provide this location, because that is simply just setting in here, but I don't want this. So I will simply break this and split it out, because that trace was blocking its own collider. Okay, and I will simply just make a vector 3, make a vector. So x and y would be in here, but the z, I don't want this guy to hit this player. I want to hit wherever my player is on the floor. So I want to hit the floor, not the player. So wherever my player is, I simply need a minus of z, and let's say my floor is minus of 1000. So it will simply block if it's not in the 1000. So now if I hit play of, okay, so now if I hit play, alright, as you can see, it is simply facing towards wherever my, alright, so it is working. Okay, now what I need to do, after doing the trace, bring out this and break hit results. So wherever my trace is hitting, I simply need this impact point and I need to promote it to variable. I'm gonna call it a hit point. Alright, so we got a vector location of wherever this guy is hitting. And what I need to do, I need to spawn a decal of that red area, so that it says, yeah, this is the point where our player should spawn. So spawn a decal at location. The location should be this hit location. The decal size would be whatever the radius of your decal. So let's make a decal first, right? So minimize this and go to the meteoroid and let's create a decal. So this is my circle. I simply gonna create a material from this circle. I'm gonna call it damage area. All right, open this up. So this is your decal, right? So the domain should be your deferred decal domain, and blend mode should be translucent because it's a decal. And make this decal blend buffer channel to debuffer, translucent, color, normal, reference, everything. I need everything. Otherwise, for this you need to have some problems if you have a deferred decal. Alright. Now, if I hit apply, go in this box. Okay. As you can see, let's just wait for this to load up. Why this isn't loading? Okay, so as you can see, my decal is spawning, but it is spawning like this, which is not look so good. So okay, so what you need, this alpha should go in this opacity, so only the white things will appear. The next thing is, I don't need this white color, I need some color. So I will simply break out this and right click and add a vector parameter called color, and let's multiply this with this guy, and the color should be, let's say, a red color. Okay, a red color of this one. All right. After doing this, I need to multiply that with a Fornal because I need that Fornal effect. So if you don't want this Fornal effect, you can do it. What is the Fornal effect? Let me show you. Okay, so as you can see, this is my Fornal effect. So from the edges it is moving. Okay, let's just stop previewing it, and I need this guy to multiply with a scalar parameter called emission. So add a scalar parameter, I'm gonna call it a emission, and add a default value of 1 and attach it this to a emissive color. Okay, the exponent, I will simply promote this guy to a scalar parameter exponent. All right, and the reflection, let's promote this guy to scalar parameter called reflection. So we have done till all the things. Exponent should be default value, let's say exponent, spelling this incorrect. Default value is 5, reflection is 0.04, and hit apply and save, and let's close. Because we have created a material, but I want to use a different material than this. So minimize this. We have this damage area material. I will simply hit a create material instance from the material. So damage area material instance. So as you can see, this Fornal effect from the edges, it is glowing. So if you click on this, you can change whatever you want. So as you can see, this emission of how much dark and how much white. So this is your emission. This is your Fornal effect of how much can glow, and this is your reflection of, yeah. So let's set it to 0.01. This exponent should be 5. All right, and emission should be 50. 50 would be work fine, I guess. Let's hit a 3 emission. Nope. 20. All right. Yes, so I want to use this material, decal material, damage area instance. So search for damage area instance, not damage area, the instance we made. Size would be how much radius, 800 units, let's say, from 3 x, y and z. All right. Also, as you can see, by default the y-axis is -90, but consider a case where your default rotation is not correct, because the ground is not always flat, it is moving. So grab this impact normal and attach this to rotation, so it will automatically convert to rotation from x. All right, so we did this. Now if we hit play, as you can see, this is my Fornal effect with location, which is not correct. All right, but we will make this. So after doing the trace, what we need to do, let's make this up. We need to make this guy, the meteor, to grow from the current location to wherever the hit result is. So grab this hit point, right? And from the hit location, what I need to do, I need to set, so I will hit a plus vector, and whatever this, because I need to spawn from my move to component. So I need to start from my wherever my meteor is to where to end. So let's promote this guy to set hit point, and let's set this to a hit point. All right. So we need a hit point, and we need to add a plus. So what is the plus? So this plus is your sphere, and get a radius of this sphere. So get sphere radius, and let me just right click and split, and whatever the sphere radius is, I will simply drag and divide it by 2 and hit to Z order, divide it by 2. All right. So where I need to go, so if you search from move to component. Yes, move component to. So this will move on a linear interpolate. Yes, so from the starting position to where do I go? So I need to go from this hit point, from the starting position, right? And the speed would be, let's just, how much time it would take to go from starting to end. So let's say 1 second it would take. All right, and the component should be this sphere, this scene root component. All right, and after doing so, what I need to do, I simply need to destroy that decal. So for that we need that decal, this spawn decal, and I will simply promote it to a variable and call it a damage decal. All right, so grab the damage decal, create damage decal, get, and right click, convert it to a validate get, because I want to make sure if it's valid or not. If it's valid, then I simply want to destroy the component. So let's check it out how it is working. Yes, so as you can see, it is working. I'm not happy with this damage area instance. I will simply set this emission to 3. All right, okay, so this is my, okay, so it is working fine. Close this up, and also I don't need this debug anymore, so I will simply set it to debug mode to none. All right, so we have done this till now. Now what I need to do, I need to do the blast effect. So let's make a new custom event called blast. Custom event called blast, right? And let's call out this custom event in here. All right, so let's create the blast function. So first thing we need to do, we need to spawn an emitter on location. So spawn emitter on the location. The location would be your hit location, this one. All right, the emission should be this explosion, and let's scale it up to 10 10 10. All right, let's hit play. Is it spawning? I don't think so. Okay, I have to call out that in here in the begin play. After destroying this component, I have to call out that blast. Yes. Okay. As you can see, that explosion. All right. The explosion is happening. Now I need to play a sound. So let's play a sound at location. Play sound at location. The location should be this hit location. Sound should be this explosion sound. All right, so we did these two things. Okay, so every time I hit, yes, the explosion sound is working. Okay, now what? I actually apply a damage, a spherical damage, a radial damage, so that I can do the damage. So let's minimize it and create a new blueprint class of an actor. I'm gonna call it radial damage. Open that up, and I need to add a component called radial force, this one. So let's make it a default scene root. Okay, so the radius should be 800. So from 800 units, this radial force would be applied. Impulse strength, let's make it something more that can be fireable. So 1 lakh. All right, and the force should be 100 units. You can play around with this value and find your best match. Okay, in the event begin play, I don't need this too. Okay, on the event begin play, what I need to do, I need to fire an impulse, that impulse. So get the radial force and fire impulse. And after just firing impulse, let's say after delay of 1 second, I simply want to destroy this radial impulse. So destroy, detect. Okay, I can do all the things in this one, but the reason I have made a new actor is because if you want to apply a radial damage for certain new things, you don't have to code this all along. You can simply call out this object. So we have done this. Just go in here. So after this, I want to spawn actor from class. Actor should be this one, that radial damage, this one, this actor, this. And let's make transform, location should be the hit location. Grab this hit location, yes, and everything else is fine because we have provided. All right, so let's minimize it and see if it's working or not. So as you saw, when I was on the up, the meteor was fired and the decal was not deferred. So let's change this. So that's a small in here. So we want to check player is in the ground or not. So let's check a ground. Is moving on ground. Yes, this one. Hit branch. If my player is moving on ground, then I want to spawn my meteor. Alright, hit compile, save and close. Alright. Okay, so everything is working fine except for just one thing. So let's check this. So in the meteoroid, in the event begin play, where it was this one. So as you can see, first we are casting our player character, then we are doing the trace, right? And after doing the trace, we are simply just moving that character. So let's say after doing the trace, we want to wait for some seconds. Let's say I want to wait for 0.5 seconds and then I want to move my meteors to the hit point. So now I have 0.5 seconds and then the meteor will arrive. And if I'm in the red area, then so this is what meteors are. So thank you so much guys for watching and bye bye.